Hi everyone, and welcome to Billy Fitzgerald Golf. And today I want to talk about this right elbow and how it pivots in the backswing. So one of the things that I see on the lesson tee a lot is this arm, or your arms, don't work right. They don't pivot. They don't move really in the backswing, and so that's going to cause a number of things on the way back and on the way down, and how it's going to affect your short game as well, especially from those tight lies, 50 yards, 60 yards and in. So the first thing is, what do we want the club to do, and how does the club work when you look at the swing? Well, again, this club is going to go in a tilted circle, so the club has to be able to work back away from the ball and keep working back away from the golf ball until it starts to return back to it on the downswing. In other words, you don't want this face of this golf club to be moving towards the ball or getting steep or lifting off the line. So what that would look like is, if I set up to the golf ball and I started to swing back and the club was going on this circle here, then all of a sudden it started to lift. Or even further, it started to lift and then go across the line. Okay, so that would be both those instances. That club would be going off that circle, and again, it makes the downswing a little bit more complicated than we want to. So this elbow and how it works in the backswing can really help us. So when I swing back, again, if I set up here and I get my grip on here right, and I swing back and the face of the club's going back out, once it gets right in here, and I actually feel it almost right away, right when I take the club back. You wouldn't be able to see it, but I feel it. So when I swing back and the club gets about right here, there's a pivot point in my elbow. So my arm's working like this and my elbow is actually pivoting. So again, when I swing back and the club gets here, this elbow has to start to pivot so the club can remain on that circle. Okay, so there's a couple things that we can do to feel this. One of a famous swing that I always look at that it seems to have this is the Dustin Johnson. There's some kind of set kind of at the very beginning. When I start moving around with this pivot, you'll see what I mean. But it's almost like when Dustin swings, there's almost a pivot here, and it sets his club, and then his arm goes back. So it puts his arm in a really good position, and it looks like he almost internally rotates this right arm, which is exactly what we're talking about. It's this pivot. So the first thing that I would do is just go ahead and pivot your elbow and hit a couple shots very slow. And what I mean by that is that when you would set up, we'll look at it from face on and down the line, is that when you would set up, I'm going to lift the club up and I'm going to pivot. My elbow is going to feel like it goes towards the target or towards the ball until I get the club going, and all of a sudden it just sets itself. So your arm is going to feel like it's rotating all the way up. It never stops rotating because that's what keeps the club in that circle. So if we made a few practice swings here, and again, we're just going really slow, all we're feeling is I'm going to get the club just hovering above the ground, because this is a little easier to do that. And I start to hinge my wrist, but my elbow starts to go inward. And so what that does, it allows the club to create and go on this circle. So again, very first move, as I start to hinge the club, and my elbow starts to pivot in, and it keeps going in, so the club remains on the circle. Now, some people may not have to worry about this, and this is great, but I can tell you, I see a lot of steep shafts, and I see a lot of across the line shafts. So hopefully this is going to help a number of people. So again, we're going to get set up. I'm just going to hover the club, and I'm going to do it real slow. So I'm going to start to make my elbow, my first move, my elbow is going to go towards the target, which is going to get me going in the right arc. So for some of us, you've never felt what it's like for your arm to really go underneath. We see, again, I see a lot of elbows going this way. Your elbow can't work this way. In other words, my elbow can't work behind me, because then the club is not, it doesn't have anywhere to go. It's going to keep going this way. And so, again, what does that do on the return down? If I get the club across the line, right, what it's going to do is, as soon as I pull on that handle, the club's going to go like this. Okay, so the face is going to get way too far behind us, and then we've got to do something to get the face back caught up. So we're going to do that one more time. So again, just a little one, and you're going to feel your elbow work towards the target, and then it works out. Okay, now the next thing that I'd have you do is preset your elbow. So we're going to set up, and you're going to preset your elbow in here, and then just swing to the top. So you can feel how your arm gets right underneath the shaft. You can feel how the golf club is working around in its circle. So again, face on, you're going to get here, and you're going to feel your elbow go towards the target and preset. So as you swing back, you can feel how your arm can get underneath the shaft. So we'll do that again. Get set up. We're going to preset this elbow so it's way underneath. Now I'm just going to take the club back. Okay, do that one more time. Gonna get the club here, set up, preset my elbow, so my elbow feels like it's pivoting all the way up, and hit. So now we'll put this into our full swing. So now, even in your full swing, I would say the sooner you can feel this, the better. So when you swing back, you're gonna feel your wrist start to hinge, but you're gonna feel your elbow go in at the same time. So it's got to happen early. You don't want to feel like it's happening up in transition, because you're going to be too late with your legs underneath. So again, we'll get ready to go. And we'll feel, I'm going to almost feel, as my wrists start to go, my elbow's going to go towards the target. So it gives me a very non-steep feeling. It feels like I can deliver the club pretty easily on the way down. If you're someone who's fought this across the line, you're going to feel a much different club on the way down. You're going to feel the club start to shoot back out in front of you rather than get here and fall back behind you so much. Now, where else is this going to help you? Well, certainly in the short game, certainly in the bunker, because anywhere we need to shallow the club, that's what's going to help. So again, if you're hitting off a tight lie, your elbow goes in, the club goes up, usually we're way too steep. And again, that's going to happen in the bunker. So again, too much sand in the bunker, too steep with the short game. You know, these 50, 60 yard shots off the short grass are terrifying. So I would have you do the same thing. So we get our grip, lean left, feel my elbow go in, and now I can feel how it shallows out the club. Lean left. And you get really close to the ball, and you can really feel how you can shallow this club out. So again, all I'm doing is, once I get into my setup position, I'm feeling my elbow go towards the target, so it feels like I get underneath the club, and I feel my elbow get right underneath the club there. So again, lean left, my elbow goes forward. So it'll take a lot of the anxiety out of the shot. So again, if you have trouble with steepness on the way down, if you have trouble with standing the shaft up too much, trouble with cross the line, try this pivot. So when the club starts to swing back, you start to get the face back, you feel like your elbow actually gets closer to the target, which makes this arm go in, it makes this rotate internally. So that's our first move, is we get our arm going in internally, and then we can feel like we can get the club to work in a little bit better circle. So it'll improve every aspect of your game that we're doing this. We're taking more than a half swing. It's going to improve your full swing. It's going to improve your short game. So hopefully it'll improve your entire game, your score, and you're going to have a lot more fun with it. Hi everyone, like and subscribe to my channel, Billy Fitzgerald Golf, for all tips on golf. If you'd like a live lesson or want to send me a message, visit me at billyfitzgeraldgolf.com.